is the most radical thing you will do to deal with corruption if Kenyans elect you in August?
3 things. Number 1, I will make sure that on day 1, I will operationalize the Judiciary Fund. The Judiciary Fund will do the following. The Judiciary Fund has not been operationalized because there are people who want to keep the judiciary on a short leash. The Judiciary Fund will give the judiciary the latitude, the resources, the capacities to hire staff, as many judges as they want, as many magistrates as there are for them to do a good job. It will give them the opportunity to get justice delivered in a shorter time, whether they are corruption cases, whether they are whatever cases. Corruption case that takes 14 years, 15 years is not a corruption case. You know, corruption cases should be delivered sooner and faster and much more efficiently. The Judiciary Fund will do that. Number 2, I will make sure that the whole chain of the criminal justice system, starting from the EACC, the DCI, the IG, have operational and they have financial independence. Today, there is absolutely no reason why the IG has got to go and kneel before the PS, Office of the President, for them to be funded. There is absolutely no reason. The law says the IG should be given an accounting officer, an independent budget, where the executive should be able to demand, where Kenyans actually should be able to demand from them. Why hasn't this happened? Why hasn't this happened? But because there are people who want to control what the DCR does, what the EACC does, what the IG does, you control it by using money, that we are going to fund you as long as you do X, Y, and Z. And number 3, Joe, I will step back. The reason, and build the institutions.
What does step back mean?
I mean, step back from interfering, you know. In fact, there is only one thing that Chief Justice, and I've said this before, Chief Justice Mutunga said that he was very happy with Mwai Kibaki. The phone in his office never rang. Yeah? Because the president allowed him to do his job. Let me tell you.
Would you appoint those 6 judges that were...
Of course, day 1, I will. I will appoint them. Let me tell you, the reason why even presidents in a place like Korea, even prime ministers in a place like Israel are taken to court is when institutions are working. That is when everybody is held to account. But when the president is the one giving us lectures on who he will arrest and who will charge and who will do what, it means he himself is untouchable.
There are people who listen.
We must build the institutions so that the institutions make sure they deliver on their mandate.
There are people who listen to you tonight, Bwana DP, and they will ask, is this the same person who has spoken in a certain way about the judiciary? I mean, for example, many people remember when they nullified the election, some of the things you said were to sita wanakaa mahali, overturning the will of the people. Yet that's something that the Constitution mandates them to do if they so see fit, depending on the evidence they have. What assurance do you have today that you actually respect the judiciary when in the past there have been statements that suggested that you actually did not hold it in such high regard?
Let me tell you, when you respect an institution, you don't worship an institution. You respect an institution. And Paul Mwite once told me a very fundamental principle when I first came into Parliament. Paul Mwite found me in Parliament when I came there first time in 1998. And I was a very fervent supporter of KANU then. He told me, young man, when you support a party or when you support a government, you criticize it when it goes wrong, right? That does not amount to disrespect.
Did they go wrong in 2017?
That does not amount. I hold it that we won the election fairly, you know? And it is okay for anybody to criticize the judiciary. It doesn't mean
I don't
that
think
you
that-
don't respect the judiciary.
Yeah.
We criticized, I spoke the way I spoke, but I am the first person who told President Uhuru Kenyatta, we must go back to the election.
I think what was
I led the team that went back to the repeat election, because much as I disagree with the judiciary, I respect the judiciary, and that is why
I think what was worrying then
their
was
decision.
not whether you disagree with their decision. It was more about questioning whether they actually have power to overturn an election, because you said 6 people overturning the
But criticism,
views.
what is criticism, Joe? I mean, I didn't agree with them, you know, but that does not mean I didn't respect their decision. Those are two different things. Because I was very sure that we won the election free and square. But my criticism of the judiciary is because we want a strong institution, right? But it doesn't mean the same thing as not respecting their decision. I criticized them, but I respected their decision, and we went back to the election and won.
Now, here's the other question that I think will come with regard to this question of corruption. There are people who are closely associated with you who have been implicated in corruption. Some have ongoing cases, including your running mate. Are you going to let them out there to hang, if that is what it comes to? Because I imagine that these cases will proceed even after the election.
If they are culpable, my friend, if they are culpable, and that's why I'm telling you, the institutions we want to build, the freedom we want to give to the judiciary, the freedom we want to give to the criminal justice system, the financial independence we want to give to them, is so that they can prosecute anybody, including the president, if they abuse the constitution or if they are corrupt. It is the only chance we have in Kenya. The reason why...
So if your deputy today, because he has many cases that are going on,
Yes.
Is found culpable, are you telling the Kenyan people today that you will actually let him continue with that case after you get elected, if you are?
Why not?
And then if he needs to be jailed and all that?
Why not? I mean, that's the law. And that's why I'm telling you the difference between us and our competitors is that our competitors today, as I speak to you, the COVID billionaires can never be taken to court. The president told us 21 days. But because they are people who are friends, who are relatives.
Who are these people? You've been talking about them.
You know as much as I do.
How would I know?
Yeah,
you are the deputy president. I am. You are the deputy president. I'm not. But if you are saying tonight,
if you don't know, Joe, then the reason why they have not been prosecuted should be sufficient evidence for you to know who they are.
there are many people who have not been prosecuted for many years in this country, Bwana DP.
So that's why I'm telling you.
My question is, as a DP,
as long as the fight against corruption is political or is such that friends of so-and-so, relatives of so-and-so, acquaintance of so-and-so cannot be prosecuted, we will lose the
you are on record as saying, for example, that the cases against your running mate are political. You said that many times.
The way, and unless it is proven otherwise by a court of law.
And here you're saying that you will actually allow them to proceed.
And they will proceed. If they have merit, they will succeed. If they are political, as I say, they will fail. So that's why, and that's the fundamental difference between us and our competitors. Our competitors believe that the fight against corruption should be by individuals against whoever they don't want. Our difference is that we will get the institutions to deal with a matter of corruption and deal with everybody, whether they are our relatives, whether they are our friends, whether he is my deputy, whether it is the president or whoever. Nobody should be safe from corruption. The institutions should be made in such a way, and that is what I intend to do. I will make sure that the Chief Justice and the judiciary have the financial independence to be able to discharge their responsibility. The criminal justice system don't have to report to the office of the president.